So this is just a little intro. I'm at my college campus right now. Look at how pretty. There's a waterfall right there. I'm in nature with the trees. Oop, I almost knocked. So this video will be great if you are someone that is struggling with motivation. You have a craving creeping up. You are thinking about door dashing some crumble cookie because you just saw it on your TikTok. A little cheat here won't hurt me. Meanwhile, you've been at the same body fat percentage for a couple years and nothing is changing. So if you're lacking motivation or discipline, you don't need it, because I will be sharing information with you that just makes so much sense that you won't need the discipline. You'll have knowledge, okay? Know better, do better. Also, my face is a little bloated at the moment. I went to a Korean barbecue place, and unfortunately, they put a lot of salt and sauce and stuff on the meat that I didn't know he did. I thought it was just like plain. I thought it was just like plain beef, but I woke up looking like bloated as heck. I mean, compared to like my before videos, it's still pretty good, but I'm still looking a little more chiseled, a little more supermodel, if you know what I mean. Hence the plastic surgery accusations which I get, which are just such a nice compliment. And I totally get why they say that, because if you watch any of my old videos, I look like a different person. Let me tell you, before eating animal-based carnivore diet, the biggest difference is my face. So also my nose is also a little bit puffy right now from the Korean barbecue I just had on. But my nose is usually way slimmer, so it's like super snatched. And then my cheekbones are non-existent from the bloating again, so you can see my facial bones or muscles. Jawline was non-existent. My eyes are really tiny looking from all the. You can still kind of see like a little bit of bloating inflammation or whatever. But it's definitely nowhere near as bad as it used to be. So first, I just want to talk about weight loss in general. There is a reason why Ozempic is out of stock, and like diabetics can't get their Ozempic because everyone and their mother is using it. We all want to be skinny, because when you are thin, that means you are insulin sensitive, not insulin resistant. I do promote weight loss. I do promote being lean and being skinny, because the truth is, life is just better when you love the way you look, when your face is snatched. You can throw on any piece of clothing from your closet and it will look amazing on you. Whereas when you're a little bit heavier, you have to try a little more with the makeup, you have to try a little more with your hair, put in more effort into your clothes. Find something that like doesn't show off your figure too much because you don't want people to see your muffin top. It's super exhausting. It really does take a toll on you, having to do that every day. You almost like don't like getting up in the morning is like a struggle, because you're gonna have to look in the mirror, you're gonna have to go through this whole process again. And this is the truth for a lot of people, whether you want to admit it or not. It is very frustrating. And then when you do try to lose the weight, you are miserable. You are hungry. All you can think about is food. You have low energy. And the reason for this is most people are already eating deprivation diets, starvation diets. You are eating the pasta, the toast, the quinoa, the oatmeal with some protein on the side, protein bar here and there, sugar-free drinks, all this crap, all this man-made garbage that is doing absolutely nothing for you. So you already have a nutrient devoid diet, right? Your body is barely getting by on the little bit of nutrients that it does get when it's paired with the processed carbs, when it's paired with the anti-nutrients, because you think quinoa is so healthy, because you think oatmeal is a superfood, because you think kale and spinach are loaded with vitamins and blah blah blah, whatever. Because you think veggies are a superfood, so your body is really struggling. Most people don't understand how horrible their diet is, and later on in the PowerPoint part of this video, I'll be explaining bone mineral density, and how even though we are eating such crap foods today, why some people still look good, and that is because their ancestors ate so much nutrient dense animal-based products that their bones are full of vitamins and minerals, bone marrow. And that's why for the next few generations, it saved them to be a little good looking, but we are running out, okay? We are running out from eating the McDonald's and eating the overnight oats and I don't even know, Bones are running out of nutrients. That is why jaw filler, chin filler, cheekbone filler, all this filler to make up for the lack of bone that you were supposed to develop from your diet. That's why it is so prevalent nowadays, which I will be getting into in the PowerPoint video as well. And then when you eat these high carb, high sugar foods, you are only feeding the bad bacteria in your gut that has these ravenous cravings for more sugar, more carbs. Whereas the healthy bacteria, they just chill there. They don't do much. They just make you crave more steak, crave more fat, but like in moderate amounts, not like the binge eating demon monster that comes out of people when they introduce these high carb sugary foods into their diet. Guys, it only takes a very short amount of time, of holding off on these cravings for your crumble cookie, for your McDonald's, all these stupid foods that don't belong in your body. It just takes a short amount of time, and let me tell you why. The bacteria that is responsible for making you crave them like a crackhead, they die off. So if you keep feeding them, even in small amounts, you keep feeding it, you keep elongating the torture and suffering of craving them, always thinking about them. But if you just keep yourself distracted, eat some steak, eat some fish, some eggs, just hold off on it a little bit longer, and before you know it, craving is gone. And in fact, they'll be so gone that you'll be confused why you even crave them so much in the first place. I'm telling you, trust me. You will be in shock, and you will want to give me a hug and a kiss on the cheek. I'm going to be giving you all the evidence you need on why we are carnivorous beings, and it's just going to sound like very common sense. You're going to be like, why didn't I think of this before? Why did I not look into this? Why am I just discovering this? You're going to be pretty freaking mind blown, and I can't wait for that to happen. So I put in a lot of work into this PowerPoint for you guys because I just want to help you out. But remember, this is a very tiny little portion of my teachings, and I wrote a 540-page encyclopedia on the subject matter, which is now out in audiobook form if you prefer listening. Losing the weight will improve your life in so many ways, and this is the only way where you lose weight and improve your health, whereas every other weight loss method is just a starvation diet. You just have to control yourself, just portion control, just have less of this, just eat the disgusting bland chicken breast and Brussels sprouts and broccoli. No, you don't have to eat that. You don't have to eat those sulfuric and anti-nutrient foods, okay? So, I actually feel like this sliding makes me look like an angelic. So, let's start with the presentation. Like I mentioned before, your gut is your second brain. So when you're trying to lose weight and you drink the coffee with the Splenda, you drink these weird artificial chemically low-calorie things that wipe out all of the healthy bacteria in your gut that you need to be happy and feel full, of course you're going to be miserable. Of course you're going to say being skinny is not worth it. I've been there and it's awful and miserable. No. Being lean and insulin sensitive feels amazing and euphoric when you do it the way your body is supposed to do it. You might think, oh, they just look good. They won the genetic lottery. It's just, purely by chance. There's no explanation for this. They just have good genetics. Well, what is good genetics? It's because that person's ancestors ate so much nutrient-dense foods that now, in this generation, they have these beautiful cheekbones, beautiful jawline, deep set eyes, and all good-looking people, they generally look kind of similar to each other because they have similar proportions to the face, because there is a specific facial ratio that indicates good health. Isn't that shocking? That blew my mind when I discovered it, and it just made so much sense. Have you guys heard of golden ratio faces, where everything is just proportional in place? Well, turns out that happens when you have a very strong immune system due to being very healthy. We have strayed so far away from what we are biologically designed to eat that our bones are shrinking. So for example, look at this grandchild and his great-great-grandpa, or probably great-grandpa, and his great-grandpa probably wasn't even eating all these animal-based products, but his ancestors ate so well that even though this man in the war was living off of beans and dried meat and, not the greatest food, he still looked amazing. But it only lasts so long until, unfortunately, in this generation, just teeny tiny jaws, no cheekbones, just malnourishment, basically. So this argument pisses me off a lot. But my good-looking friend eats McDonald's, and he looks great. He eats it every day, and his skin is fantastic. And my friend has crumble cookie every single day. I don't know why I keep talking about crumble cookies. Just I've been seeing it on my TikTok, and it's bothering me. But yeah, so-and-so eats this extremely crappy food, and they still look amazing. How come? Well, their ancestors, again, ate so much meat, they ate so many mammoth steaks, that their bone density, the mineral, nutrient, vitamin density in their bone is so potent that the next couple generations of their offspring still look fan-frickin-tastic, despite that current grandchild eating the worst of the worst garbage humankind has ever been introduced to. So all these high bone mass people, again, their ancestors were very successful hunters and ate tons of animal products. If we were to eat the same crap that these models with amazing genetics were eating, we'd immediately start looking like the right picture. And that was kind of me. My face bloats very easily, and when I'm kind of bloated at the moment, I think I said before in the video, but I went to a Korean barbecue place, and they put some kind of like sugar glaze, salty, some kind of weird thing on the meat, and I woke up and my face was a balloon, so I'm still a little bit debloating, but you can kind of see my cheekbones and my jawline a little bit. But you guys have seen my before afters. I literally looked like the right, worse than the right. Honestly, the people on the right look a million times better than me. But very relatable, and you can save yourself if you take my freaking advice and ignore everyone else telling you to eat overnight oatmeal and Ezekiel bread and all this stupid stuff. It pisses me off. For example, Jordan Barrett. He is a skeleton at the moment because he is starving himself to make his bones protrude as much as possible because he's a model, and when he does eat, he eats some pretty crappy stuff. So the current diet is kind of irrelevant to these models' current healthy looks, especially when they have crappy diets. So looking at what they eat currently is kind of useless, you know? But for someone like me who has changed their appearance dramatically, same goes for all the other people that discovered their diet, you look like a different person after eating differently. And your face, your body is just so happy that you're finally getting the nutrients that you need, that you start morphing into the beautiful person you are meant to be. Oh my god, no, why am I inverted? Guys, this is my biggest fear. I am inverted, but whatever. Anyways, as you can see, in this day and age, so much money is spent on getting all these jawline fillers, cheekbone fillers, I don't even know, fillers, and then Botox, freeze the face, no wrinkles, freeze it. The reason we are getting all these preventative treatments is because our diet is so lacking in nutrients. Again, the bones are shrinking. We are prematurely aging. And people think that they are so advanced nowadays because we have Wi-Fi and, oh, we died at age 30 back then. We died prematurely. Let me tell you something. The whole, oh, our ancestors died at 30, they died young. It's been debunked, okay? Sure, some did die from disease, some did die from animal attacks, wars, things like that, but they did not die from nutritional deficiencies. And here is why these archaeologists believe that they died so young. The bones that they discovered had no fractures on them, no chipping, they were strong, healthy bones. So they predicted, oh, since these bones are very strong and healthy looking, this person must be in their 20s. Little do they know, it's actually some 70-year-old who lived the way a human should off of steak and fish and eggs, and they just had extremely high bone density so that even in their old age, they had very strong bones. I talk about this in my book, but there is a man called Herodotus who is known as the father of history, and he documented a conversation between a Persian king and an Ethiopian king. And basically, the Persian king was asking the Ethiopian one what his slaves eat and how long they live, and the Ethiopian king said our lifespan is around 70, and we eat grains and things, crops that we grow. And the Persian king laughed and said, my people live up to 120. And they're still working out in the fields at 120. You guys are eating peasant food. Like, he laughed at it and made fun of him. This was, like, written down back then. It was a conversation between kings. So, yeah, dying in your 90s, whatever, people consider that living a long life. But in reality, it's still premature. And if you eat what you're supposed to, you live much longer. So, yeah, we get wrinkles prematurely. Our skin is lacking collagen. And because of that, we are spending so much money to stay young, when in reality, the problem was your diet. Stop eating the freaking rice cakes with peanut butter on them, and you won't need Botox. Simple as that. There we go, I'm no longer inverted. So as you can see, this lovely lady looks like her ancestors, and it is obvious that she's still eating a lot of animal-based products, which is why she preserved her bone structure. Beautiful bone structure. Beauty is not just some unrealistic standard. It is not just some toxic, unreachable standard that only the top 1% people can reach. We are all meant to have very symmetrical, very beautiful faces. Because like I said before, when you are eating the foods you are supposed to be eating, your face grows the way that it should. It develops symmetrically. A symmetrical face is a sign of a good immune system, okay? It signifies that your body was able to allocate resources effectively during critical periods of development, meaning when you were growing up, you ate everything you were supposed to. So it's not just, oh, the society thinks this is what looks good. No, this is what biology says looks good, and for a reason. And the reason why, people are trying to change the beauty standards nowadays, it's not because we're fighting some evil standard that's super unrealistic. It's because we are so far off from what we are supposed to be eating that we are becoming very ugly. And because we are becoming very ugly, we see what we're supposed to look like and get really butthurt that we don't look like that. So we're like, let's change the beauty standard. Oh, look, I have this issue and that issue, accept me as I am. And I'm not saying not to accept yourself, but I'm saying the truth, which is that beauty standards are health standards. So don't get it twisted. Eat the way I advise you to, and you will be beautiful too. So let's talk about some nutrients that are essential. You die without them, and they are only in animal products. You will not find them in a veggie. You will not find them in cabbage and a carrot. So these are the anti-nutrients that are in a lot of the foods that we eat. So our standard diet today, it's basically a plant-based diet, Like when you do eat meat, it's just a little piece of chicken breast on the side. It's a little bit of ground beef mixed into the pasta. You're always mixing a good protein source, but getting rid of the fat, overcooking it, getting rid of all the nutrients in that food, and then mixing it with some weird plant-based food. So all these plant-based foods are full of anti-nutrients. I talk a lot about this in my book as well. I feel like a broken record, but you can read this if you like. All these foods, anti-nutrients are extremely bad for your health. That's why a lot of people with autoimmune issues, they can't eat them because they are literally killing you. Plants don't want to be eaten, so they bind to the nutrients in your stomach, preventing you from absorbing them so that the plant wipes out its predator so that it can, basically the goal of every single alive thing on the planet is to procreate without a natural predator. Number 1, vitamin A, aka retinol. So you see on the TikTok community all these people talking about retinol cream, put retinol on your skin. You're supposed to be getting it from your diet. That's why all these primal tribes and people who have no access to all these cosmetic products have the most beautiful skin you will ever see in your entire life through diet alone. So, you know how people say, oh, eat carrots, it has a lot of vitamin A. Eat your orange fruits, they have a lot of vitamin A. B to the S, unfortunately, I fell for this too. Oh, like it's good for your eyesight, this and that. Plants do not have retinol, which is the animal form of vitamin A, which is what we need, which is what we use. They have beta-carotene, which is a precursor, meaning some people have the ability to turn beta-carotene into vitamin A, not all. Only 45% of people are able to turn beta-carotene into vitamin A. Do you see the problem here? Next. Vitamin K2. So, have you heard in the vegan community, eat your kale, vitamin K, kale, vitamin K, that stupid thing that they say? Well, veggies only have K1. We need K2, which is the animal version. Are you seeing a pattern here? Which is the animal version of vitamin K. And it is only found in animal products, K2, the one that we need. And again, you can barely convert it to vitamin K2 when you get it from kale. not to mention all the anti-nutrients that come with that K1, preventing you from absorbing it because the plant doesn't want you to live, the plant wants to live, so it's going to try to kill you. Why would it make its nutrients available to you? You know? Collagen and gelatin, that's what your skin needs so that you don't need to get all the Botox and all the procedures. There is no collagen in plants. There is this YouTuber called Fully Raw Christine. She was like famous for saying that her eye color changed by going full raw vegan, and she made a video about how she admitted that on a vegan diet you can't get collagen. Whoa, that's shocking news to me. And then she was selling you guys some stupid supplement that doesn't work to mix in your smoothie, and then it turns out that the collagen in the smoothie is an animal-based collagen, which is so funny. Heme iron. So you know how Popeye, the cartoon, he eats his spinach to get big and strong. Big fat lie. Because he was trying to say that there is a lot of iron in spinach and iron makes you strong. Yes, it does, but we need heme iron. Plants only contain non-heme iron, which you can barely absorb it, again, because the anti-nutrient phytate blocks it from absorption. Zinc, very, very important. It's in oysters and eggs. Also, if you hard boil your egg, fry your egg, cook your egg in any way, and the yolk is cooked as well, very little nutrient left in there. Drink that yolk raw. Little tongue twister there. It's really late, guys. I just want to get this video out for you. But what I do is I'll either drink it raw or I'll soft boil it at like 5 to 6 minutes. Again, the plant version, you can barely absorb it from the anti-nutrients. Omega-3 fatty acid. So you know how people say, oh, eat your walnuts, eat your flaxseed, it has a lot of omega-3. It's so good for you. Again, your body cannot use it. You are made out of saturated fat. You're not made out of avocado fat. You are not made out of walnuts. You are not made out of coconuts. You are made out of, well, coconuts do have saturated fat, but you are made out of saturated fat, aka animal fat, aka eat the animal fat, so that you stay young and pretty and gorge. B12, there is no B12 in what form whatsoever. This is why a lot of vegans, they fail. It's very, very important. You die without it, right? And it's only in animal products. Oh, and also, like, when you do take the B12 supplements, most supplements of any kind are really bad for you because they are very synthetic. Again, if it is a product, there is an evil company behind that product trying to make the ingredients as cheap as possible so they can make as much profit as possible. So what you're getting is most likely crap quality. Therefore, get it from the food. Taurine, you'll see this in a lot of energy drinks for energy. It gives you energy, so don't drink the energy drink. Eat a steak that has taurine. It's not in plants at all. No wonder vegans are so zombie, you know. Creatine, not in plants again, and you see all these like bodybuilders and like fitness people drinking the creatine. Oh, dry scoop, mix it in my water. Again, it's synthetic, it is disgusting, it is gross. A big fat juicy ribeye has a scoop's worth of creatine in it, so you're good to go. Kerosene, are you seeing the pattern here? Again, plants only have vitamin D2, we need D3, the animal version, and converting it is very hard to do. Grass-fed animal fats have them, especially because the grass absorbs the sun, you know, vitamin D, like the sun. So if you live in an area that does not get a lot of sun, you need to be eating your grass-fed steaks because the cow eats the grass that absorbed a lot of the sunlight, and that's why the fat on grass-fed steaks are more yellow because of the beta-carotene in the grass. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, let's talk about some of the essential nutrients that are in plants that you can't get from animal products. I was kidding. There is none. There is zero. Everything that you need is in animal products. But what about vitamin C? You know, oranges have vitamin C. Okay, let me tell you something about vitamin C. I'm about to go on another really long tangent on vitamin C and glucose. They have the same transporter, meaning the little cell, the part of your body that transports these nutrients around your body, they have the same carrier. Am I recording? Okay, I'm recording. They have the same carrier. So when you eat a high carb diet, you eat a lot of sugar, you eat the crumble cookie, you need a lot of vitamin C to, you know, what's the word? To compete with the glucose. So when you cut out all this crap, all the carbs, all the sugar, all this stuff, the vitamin C that is in meat is enough for you, especially if you were eating lots of raw animal products, you know, the way that nature created it. There's no need to destroy it in the heat unless you only have access to really crap quality meat. In that case, you know, cook it just in case. But, but what about the pirates? They got scurvy. They got scurvy because they didn't eat enough fresh fruit that contains vitamin C. Pirates were eating a lot of crackers. They were eating a very high carb diet. They loved their crackers and biscuits, and the meat that they were eating was dehydrated meat. The water-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin C, was dehydrated out of that steak, paired with a high carb diet with the crackers they were eating. Of course they're gonna get scurvy. It's not from a fruit deficiency, it's eating a whole food diet deficiency, because dehydrated meat is not a whole food and it's been processed, dehydrated. So yeah, if fruit was essential, you would have been gone in the Ice Age. But we were living off of mammoth steaks because mammoths are a very large animal. They have a lot of fat on them. Millions of calories of fat on their bodies, which is why mammoths and other ruminant fatty animals were able to survive the Ice Age despite everything being frozen over, which is why we ate them until it was over, and then again, the anti-nutrients. So just think about this. I've already talked about this before, but in case you haven't heard it, everything in nature wants to survive, and everything in nature has a protective mechanism. So plants, since they cannot run or hide or attack you like an animal can, they make themselves poisonous, right? And when animals in nature eat plants, they only eat one specific type of plant, because as that animal's body gets more used to the poisons in that plant, the plant becomes more toxic, so it's a little race between the two. That's why koalas only eat eucalyptus, pandas only eat bamboo. They don't go and eat they don't eat the rainbow. You know, we are idiots eating the freaking rainbow. You go to the produce section, there's a million different types of veggies, and most of them are man-made. Most of them you can't even find in the wild. They've been so genetically modified that, you know, we created broccoli. Broccoli's a flower. We created these cucumbers, and in my last YouTube video, I show you all the fruits and what they look like in their original state and what they look like now. You know how on TikTok, everyone is talking about the Slavic diet? If you want to look like a Slavic model, eat what they eat to lose weight, which is buckwheat and cabbage soup. Two of the worst things you can eat. I mean, if you compare it to McDonald's and the crumble cookie, it's a health food compared to that. But comparing it to an actual human food like a steak, it is garbage. Garbage. So you thinking that these models look so good because they're eating buckwheat and cabbage soup, are you kidding me? All these like dishes, even like the dishes of your grandparents, if they're a dish that contains any sort of grain, any sort of like bread, flour, something like that, it is very modern. It is still modern, okay? It takes a few generations for the effects of food to affect your looks. So your grandparents, great-great-great-great-grandparents were eating lots of steak. They're good. And then recently we started coming out with these stupid man-made dishes with the flours and the cookies and the bread and just like playing around in the kitchen because we got bored, you know? And then as you can see, all these diseases started to come up, all these health issues, diabetes, cancer, blah, 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 that do not exist in nature. They do not exist in nature. Okay, now let's talk about some of the cultures around the world that are known for their beauty and their beautiful bone structures and a little bit of what they eat. So Native Americans are very well known for their beautiful cheekbones. I'm about to show you what they look like, okay? Wow. Look at those cheekbones. Now let me tell you something that blew my mind. In school, they teach us that in Thanksgiving, what the Native Americans ate was they ate lots of corn, sweet potatoes, yams, all these weird plant-based foods, right? Turns out these people lived on raw buffalo meat and drank horse blood. Ew, that sounds so gross. That's human food. That's human food. Just because you're so accustomed to a Lunchable doesn't make real human food disgusting, okay? So don't even give me that. Don't start with me. But yeah, look at how like beautiful their cheekbones and jawlines are. Now cut to Native Americans today. After eating a lot of Western foods, after the colonization, you know, they started eating a lot of crappy processed foods, and unfortunately they are facing a huge obesity problem. Their bone structures don't look like this anymore, or they do. Even though they're super obese, you can still see their bone structure, but they're just not as healthy as they used to be because no one's telling them that they were eating raw buffalo meat and horse blood this whole time, you know? And then current day Native Americans, although these people might not be eating raw buffalo meat and drinking horse blood because their ancestors ate so well, now they have cute jobs as a model because of their beautiful bone structure. These people look angelic. Netherlands, the tallest people in Europe, and they are dairy obsessed. Now sure, present day Netherlands, they have these dishes like, oh, but they love their salads, they love their this and that. Their ancestors love dairy. Are you seeing the recurring theme here? So yeah, they're the tallest people in the world. Let's take a look. They are gigantic. They're huge. I don't know if the guy in the middle is from the Netherlands, but I thought his caption was funny. Visiting foreign countries so I can hype mog everyone. No one notices me, plus I'm delusional and have a superior... You get what I mean. But yeah, they're the tallest people and they love their dairy. Now later, I think it's going to be the last one, but I'm going to show you another dairy-focused tribe of people, and that will blow your mind. Oh, okay, well, it's next. South Sudan. So, obviously, okay, these people, they worship cows. Wherever cows go, they follow them, okay? They follow the cows around. Sometimes they exclusively live off of just milk. They're just drinking milk for like a year straight. No solid foods, just milk. Do you want to see how healthy and tall they are? And if I did not already say this, height is just how well you were nourished as a child and how well your ancestors ate. So it has nothing to do with like genetics, like, oh, I come from this country, we're just short. It's because the people in that country don't eat a lot of animal products, so they stunted their growth. So in South America, it's very plant-based diets, very crop focused, so the height tends to be shorter. Same with India. But then you go to these countries where the diet is very animal based. Hong Kong has the longest life expectancy and they eat the most amount of meat. They have the highest meat consumption in the world. But yeah, height equals you are getting all the nutrients that you need, so you're just growing. Look at these people. So all of these pictures I got from a video by Joe Frazier, I think his name is, and honestly, he inspired this video because I watched this and I was in shock. And then when they said what they eat, you can watch, it's like a 4-minute long video. I really recommend you watch it. Just like look him up. And he went to South Sudan. These are the tallest people in the world. The average man is 6'3". 6'3" is average. And seeing a 7-foot tall person is very common there. So in the video, look at their cheekbones. Like, look, they have perfect teeth, by the way. Their teeth are perfectly straight. They don't even know what a toothbrush is. They don't know what toothpaste is. They just drink milk, sometimes for a year straight, and they eat cows, and, you know, they eat a lot of animals, and they're the tallest people in the world. They definitely don't hit the gym, but they are very lean and muscular, and have the body type that a lot of people nowadays are going for. Kazakh warriors. I think, I'm not sure if I have, like, Kazakh ancestry, so we recently did, like, a DNA test, and it turns out, we're part Russian, which I did not know, but are Kazakhs like Russians or Central Asian? I'm not sure. But they're warriors that love horse meat, specifically raw horse meat. That's all they ate. And these people, they live in freezing cold climates and they don't even need a fire to stay warm. That's how good their body is working. You can read the dishes. Look at these giants, these warriors. Look at them in the little conference room, like next to the average person. And these people that they're next to are not midgets. They're like average people like you and me. As you can see, they're freaking tall as heck. So, yeah. Scandinavian Vikings, they love their herring, cod, salmon. They love their organ meats. If you are a successful hunter, you are given the liver and the heart and the organs because they are the most nutrient dense as a reward. They love their yogurt, their cheese, their butter, and we all know Vikings are just jacked. They are beautiful. Just look at them. Yeah. I mean, what more do I have to say? Yeah, they are great looking people. So, okay, the ancestry thingy that I used is 23andMe, and I was so freaking happy when I saw this. It gave like a little report. Let me find it for you. So apparently my haplogroup, whatever I think that's like my ancestral lineage, whatever that means, it's haplogroup I, and it says it has been carried to Iceland by the Vikings. So haplogroup I appears to have been present in Scandinavia, and so I was a really happy gal when I saw this. It just makes so much sense. I love meat so much, and why I was dying without it. I mean, same for all humans, but me especially, I was miserable without the proper human diet. Slavic people, Slavs, Slavic dolls. They are known for their beauty. It's like trending again on TikTok. Slavic dolls are just so beautiful and this and that. And it is sickening to see these girls starving themselves thinking that's how they're gonna get the Slavic model look or whatever. No, all that's gonna happen is you're gonna die prematurely. Your bones are gonna be fragile. You're gonna get an accident really quick. You can break a bone super quickly. You're gonna be infertile. You're gonna age so fast. You're gonna age so fast. Just eat the way you're supposed to as a human, and you will be lean and beautiful and not get these deficiencies. Also, that appetite that you were trying so hard to fight off goes away when you eat these nutrient-dense foods. Just like look at these beautiful Slavic queens. And when we look at countries around the world that have a more plant-based diet from not eating animal products because they're a vegetarian country, that they have the highest rate of coronary heart disease. They have these bubble guts. They, have a lot of these health issues that are unfortunately due to an improper diet. These are a couple of the pages in my book that I screenshotted. Again, this is an encyclopedia, so if you like this video, highly recommend you check out my audiobook. But as you can see, when scientists look at your bones, okay, they can tell what your diet looked like. So if you are a plant-based, a plant-eating animal, they can see it in your bones. If you are a meat eater, they see it in your bones. Now, that graph over there is a measure of all the animals that are carnivores and the amount of nitrogen that they have in their bones. So the higher you are on there, the more carnivorous you are. As you can see, we are at the top of the top, meaning we ate every single carnivore beneath us, okay? That is how we evolved for tens of thousands of years, up until a few hundred years ago, we decided that eating plants was a good idea. Because they taste good, okay? And then, so here's a little bit more evidence of our carnivory. Our stomachs are extremely acidic, more so than a lion's. So lions are carnivores. Ours is more acidic than them because we used to eat rotted meat as well. We were scavengers, and it is still this acidic. So, you know how people like to say, oh, but we look like gorillas, and gorillas are vegans, so how come we're not vegans? Because they're the closest to us, and they're so smart, this and that. Well, the part of their stomach responsible for digesting plants is 5 feet long. Ours is the tip of our finger because it atrophied from not using it. It shrunk. And for it to shrink, you have to not be using that organ for a couple million years. So that just gives you an idea of how long we've been carnivores. And then on the left is a graphic of our skull size. As you can see, it started growing exponentially as we started eating more meat, and then agriculture happened. What happened? Our brains started to shrink, so it's declining. We're getting dumber. Our brains are getting smaller. Just because we have Wi-Fi does not mean we are smarter than our ancestors. Let me tell you something. Wait, you can't see me. Okay, I just want to Let me tell you something. Do you want to know how an archaeologist can tell if a skull is pre-agriculture or post-agriculture? The size of the skull. Because after agriculture, meaning after we started farming and eating plants and crops, our brains started to shrink. Our skulls started to shrink. The only reason they would shrink is from a lack of nutrients. Is it making sense now? Are you getting it now? So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I could talk on and on and on, but my throat hurts, and I think this video is really long as it is. I really hope it's not too long. But I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will be more debloated soon, because I will not be going to that Korean barbecue place soon, because my face is so puffy. Really hope you liked it. Really hope you eat a steak after this. Also, I know the steak that you're going to eat after watching this is going to hit. Knowing how it's going to make you more beautiful, knowing it's going to make your children more beautiful, knowing all the good things that you just learned about it. So, bye guys.